Hello, this talk is about the new education policy that is recently introduced in India. Well, some of the highlights of the NEP are as follows. Students, particularly belonging to the primary school level, will be taught in their own mother tongue or in the regional language. There will be no compulsion of learning in a new language or in a foreign language. Students with disability would be given priority in terms of getting education and receiving the proper training right from the lower level up to the higher education. The policy actually creates a lot of scope and support opportunities for such kind of children. Whereas at college, there will be a flexi mode of study wherein the students will choose the course they would like to take up, the mode of the course, whether they want to do it online or they want to do it, in person. The mode of the study also can be decided. The year of the study can be decided. And even he could change disciplines. So I think this is a great advantage, and it through this there is no age bar for learning. This actually inculcates a spirit of lifelong learning. So gone are the days where we'd look for batchmates to be of the same age group. So we are going to have a new system in place where there'll be variety of learning, variety of people taking up the course, and the trainers also would be of a variety, definitely. And for this, technology will definitely play a major role in the process of education. The new education policy may be otherwise called as a 4.0 because there's modifications from KG to PG. And going further, even the MPhil degrees will completely vanish from the system, and people who are taking up PhD will have to go in directly for a PhD after they have completed their post-graduation. Well, there are many bodies that have been put in place to streamline the NEP. It seems that there will be four major bodies. One is the National Higher Education Regulatory Council. That will be the single point of contact when it comes to aspects of good governance, outcome, infrastructure, new constructive measures for in terms of building or in terms of laboratory, etc. The second body would be the NAC, which is the National Accreditation Council. This will specifically look into grading, evaluation, analysis of performance, and stuff like that. The third body would be the Higher Education Grants Council, which would play a specific role for funding. Because as you know, funding is always a huge process, and most of the time it is delayed or it's sometimes even denied. So this body will particularly look at aspects of funding, scholarship, funds for institutional development, development of labs, research, etc. The fourth body will be the General Education Council, which will actually look into the upgrading of skills, identify the skill gap that is needed for the students, identify the need for training of a particular aspect. So that will be the role of this body. But we only hope that the bodies do not overlap while executing their functions, and we hope that each body takes up its role most effectively. This NEP seems to be supportive in terms of distance education and virtual mode of learning, which is otherwise called as the online learning. Earlier, this was not a welcoming factor, but these days, post-corona, this concept has already been well shaped in the minds of all stakeholders. The NEP also states that by 2040, India will have an education system that is second to none. Furthermore, the NEP also emphasizes on the need of promoting vocational skill development, and for this, it will be accepted for students to have multiple entry and exit options at college, which means they could even change discipline. Such kind of things would be accommodated For example, if a student is pursuing an engineering, he could take it up for a year and he could have a break of study from engineering and take in something like arts for a year and come back to engineering. This is just a vague example which I give, but the policy states that students will be allowed and permitted to have a degree that is tailor made of their own choice, just as how he would select his food, the main dish, or the salads, or the gravies to go along with it. This is just an example. So, students who desire to take up music will be given an opportunity to take up a course during his course of study at college itself. So, hereby the passion as well as the aim of the student will be worked upon parallelly. This is how I can actually put it into simpler terms. 6% of the annual budget is allocated for the implementation of NEP, and 50% of the GER is also the target for the next 15 years. But what I could clearly see is the NEP is going to rule us for the next 15 to 20 years. And the NEP will also empower universities to award degrees. Currently, there are about 800 to 900 institutions in the country that can actually award degree. But the NEP will gradually empower many universities, thereby the scope of awarding degrees to many will soon be implemented. Coming back to the entry and exit system at college level, every time there's an exit, the particular institution will have to provide the learner with a certificate. So using that exit certificate, the learner will gain an admission into the desired college of his choice. So good luck, fingers crossed, and let's go along with the change with a positive attitude. Thank you.